Howdy, folks. Recently, Pope Benedict XVI announced that he is renouncing the papacy, citing reasons of his advanced age and the fact that he no longer has the energy that he feels is needed to pursue the office of the papacy the way he feels that it needs to be pursued. This paves the way for the calling of a new conclave and the election of a new pope, presumably one who's perhaps younger and will have more energy to devote to the office. I thought I'd take just a few moments to record what's essentially a video open letter to Pope Benedict. I don't imagine he'll actually see this video, but I just wanted to take a few moments to speak from my heart without a script and just say how much I appreciate Pope Benedict's service to the Church and how words fail me. In any event, if this were an ordinary letter, I'd begin by saying, "Dear Pope Benedict," but since he's the Pope, that's a little informal. So instead I'll begin by saying, "Your Holiness." I just want to say that I truly value the time that you have spent as Pontiff. I very much value the service you have performed as the successor of Peter. It has been a true gift to the Church. I am a big admirer of your great predecessor, John Paul II, and I've been a great admirer of yours since before you were even elected Pope. On the day that you were elected, I cheered, and you were the candidate that I was secretly hoping for, although I didn't want to get my hopes up, because I recognized what a great gift you would be to the Church as the successor of St. Peter. I think that you have performed tremendous service for the Church. You have many notable accomplishments. You've reached out to different groups. You've helped steer the Church on a wise course in regard to the current situation that the Church finds itself in multiple respects, including the correct interpretation of the Second Vatican Council and the need for evangelization in the world today. And perhaps in a special way that's close to my heart, your teaching has been just marvelous. You have an enormous gift as a teacher, and I have learned much from you, from your books, from your interviews, from your various papal documents, and I feel a special closeness to your papacy. It's sad, therefore, that we've arrived at this point where you felt it necessary to resign. I have to say immediately that I respect the decision. I know your health has been declining for some time, and I've personally been praying for you to continue to be given strength so that you could carry out your office. I'd hoped for many more years, but I recognize that as part of God's plan, things can take unexpected turns and unfortunate turns, and I respect your judgment that this is the time that it would be appropriate for you to step aside in order to prepare the way for a new pope. I pray for you. I pray for the conclave that will elect the new pope, and I pray for the new pope. I have every confidence that the new pope will be very good, that he also, in his own way, will be a gift to the Church. At the same time, it's understandable that there's a certain sadness at this time, particularly on the part of the many, many people in the world who love you and who care about you. It's a painful thing to have a transition from one pope to another, but it's also a time of opportunity and a time of grace, and I know that God will give us the grace that we need throughout this time, throughout this transition. Because there hasn't been a pope that has resigned in 600 years, it presents something of a new situation for the Church, and there are a lot of people right now who have a lot of questions. I imagine Some of them are going to take some time to work out. I've just on Facebook and on my blog, I've had people already asking some of those questions, like how will you be referred to at once you are no longer fulfilling the office of the papacy? What exactly are you to be called? What are you going to do? What are your plans? I know some of that has already been announced, that once you leave the office of the successor of Peter, you're going to move for a time to the papal private residence at Castel Gandolfo, and after the renovation of a monastery that is on Vatican property, you'll retire there for a period of prayer and reflection. Maybe you'll stay there on an ongoing basis, or maybe you'll go somewhere else. Because your gifts are so strong as a theologian, I know a lot of people have wondered whether you will continue to write on theological and biblical matters. Just speaking from a personal point of view, my wish is that you would, because you're such a good teacher. On the other hand, I also understand that there is a certain need to retire from the public spotlight in order to give your successor a free hand. That's something that happens, at least in any functional system where one leader replaces another. The new leader shouldn't be overshadowed by his predecessor. His predecessor shouldn't intrude himself in a certain respect into the affairs of the man who follows him. That's something we see, for example, in the United States when we have a transition from one president to another. Typically, the man who leaves office stays out of the public eye, especially for a certain period of time. He may write his memoirs and pursue various private matters, but he doesn't intrude himself into the public eye in the same way that he did when he was in office. And I know that you very much value the freedom of the man who follows you, and so you will undoubtedly stay out of the public eye to a certain extent. You may conclude that that's not consistent with continuing to write, although if there is a way that you see fit to continue writing, I know I personally would very much value whatever you have to say, and I know many, many, many other people in the world would as well. So it's a wish, I don't know if I dare say a hope, but it's a wish that on my part that you would find a way to continue to contribute your thoughts in a way that's consistent with the needs of the church and the needs of the new pope to help guide the church. I know you may also play an unofficial role as one who's been in the office. The new pope may choose privately to consult you about various matters. I know that happens, for example, with American presidents. They'll often talk to their predecessors about various problems they're facing, and the new pope may well do that with you, although we'll probably never either know it or certainly never know about the details of it unless your successor chooses to make them known. In any event, I just want to say, and I don't want to make this long, I know you don't even know who I am, but I just want to say that I have very much valued the gift of your papacy, and I pray for you and for the church and for the new pope. Thank you very much.